That was a good start. Yeah, welcome everyone to the Gyms Building Inspections webinar. We're actually here at the Gyms Group at Mooralbark, where people do their initial training. So the gym and the crew have been great. We're very grateful to be able to use their facility tonight. I really appreciate you guys logging in. I know what it's like working all day and jumping into a webinar like this, but it's the year we've had, it's probably the best way that we could get in front of as many people as possible and talk about what the Gyms Building Inspection Division is all about, and a little bit of a snapshot of where we are and where we're headed and what it's like to be a Gyms franchisee. So my name's Sam Robertson. I'm the CEO of Gyms Building Inspections, which has been around for about 10 years in the group. Just a couple of months over that, so we're pretty proud to be part of the Gyms Group for the past 10 years. And we've got a very special guest. We've got Jim Penman, who is the CEO and founder of the Gyms Group. So if I could ask you to come along, Jim. So here he is. So yeah, we thought we'd get a chance to have a chat with Jim about being a Gyms franchisee, and also particularly about building inspections and where it's come in the past 10 years. So I appreciate your time, Jim. Now, we've got a couple of prizes tonight. We want you guys to ask us as many questions as you like, and Gyms Group have a Gyms Monopoly game, so it's a really, really cool game. So the winner of who asks the best question tonight is going to pick up a prize, but that's another thing. But Jim's a busy man, so I wanted to talk to Jim first for 5 or 10 minutes just to say hello. Yeah, but Jim, Building Inspection Division, we've actually hit 10 years. So Paul Comerford, the founder, knocked on your doors, must have been about 11 years ago. How do you think the success of the Building Inspection Group's been over the 10 years, and why do you think that?
It's been very exciting, actually. Any division that hits 100 is a success from our point of view. So that, even though we've got nearly 50 divisions, it's the 8 or so that are over 100 that we really think that's been successful. As to why it's been successful, obviously Gyms is a great company. We do a lot of great support, but why does one division work so well? I think it's leadership to a large extent.
Yep.
Paul's been a great leader, and you yourself have been part of the management team as well, has been part of that success. So we've got some great franchisors in the group. I'm very proud of it. I mean, it's starting from a business that was nowhere, 11 years ago, and is now by far the largest in the industry. That's quite an achievement.
Yeah, over 140 franchisees now across Australia and New Zealand, so we're pretty proud of that. But I've always found like a Gyms division works well when it's a mobile service, it's residential, and we as a division obviously have guys with experience in building and construction, so they've come from probably ran a business before too, so they actually see the advantages of gym and all the systems they have.
Well, look, we tend to do well in businesses which rely on the public awareness and confidence. Because let's face it, I mean, if you're a regular customer, if you're buying industrial equipment, then you know who your suppliers are. But if you're an ordinary householder and you want to buy a house or any kind of property, who do you go to? Well, Gyms is a trusted name.
Yep.
And you've used this for the mowing, and people use this for the cleaning and the dog washing. You understand there's the guarantee behind it, which is quite important too, because if we miss out something, especially in this division, then we pay for it.
Yeah.
You know, we've had claims of tens of thousands of dollars where we've had to pay to restump the house and stuff because somebody missed something. So people recognise that. I actually had a good friend from my church. He's part of my church group who bought a unit and very foolishly didn't get an inspection done. And he's got problems with it. It's costing over $100,000 to get fixed. He's in court. It's just a nightmare. All of this could have been solved. It was a problem that would have been picked up by any inspector if he paid just a few $100 to Gyms Building Inspections. We've done a video of it, actually. And it's terrible, the amount of stress that he's gone through, which could have been avoided. And I kicked myself. I didn't tell him, Eric, why are you doing this? Get your place inspected. And he said it was a brand new building and it's got builder's warranty and stuff, but it's got major problems with leakage. And the thing is that if we had missed that, then we'd pay for the repairs.
Yep. And I think that's with a Gyms franchise. You're police checked, you're fully insured, You don't get to put the badge on unless you've got all those things together, and that's right. Probably what people want with the building inspection. They just don't get their friend to do it anymore because they want to be insured. So
it's actually one of the best divisions too. It's got one of the lowest complaint rates, one of the highest conversion rates of any division. So it's been very successful, very professional. I mean, divisions differ a great deal. You know, dog wash tends to be very emotional, and the dog lovers and stuff, and they're very different. And you know, skip bids people are very big and they're macho, they're Australian. But building inspections tend to be very, very professional, very competent, very knowledgeable. It's that kind of person who's been in building industry, doesn't want the strain and the hassle and the risk of it, but has all that knowledge and professionalism. Tend to be really good guys.
And that's a good point you make. You know, you've got the skip bins, you've got the dog wash and the buildings, but it's the same concept in terms of customer service, isn't it? It's not, you know, we generate a lot of leads for our franchisees, but it's the people that keep coming back for referral, which is the main thing that keeps the numbers of franchises in the gyms group so strong and keeps franchisees sticking around.
I think it's important too to recognise that we're very obsessed with customer service. I personally go through and check every low-ranked survey every day to look at what went wrong. I'm the only person in Jim's group that can remove a complaint or a bad survey. So I'm very, very tough on customer service, and franchisees don't always like me because I won't take off complaints without reason. I knock back several requests a day that I would just say no to. I can't. You give me the evidence. Show me that you've done the right thing. But when a franchisee has done the right thing, that we will back them. We had a case just coming up this week that's been around where a client in Western Australia has actually tried to take us down and making a big claim for overlooking supposedly something. Now, as far as I'm concerned, we've investigated, we've gone into all the legalities. Our person did the right thing. We're going to back him 100%.
Yep, great. So we've got a fair group here tonight. We've got over 50 people in the webinar. Now, these guys are just having a look. They've probably had a chat with their franchisor. With COVID, we struggled to get out there and have an interview with them or talk to them. So this is why the webinar's all about. But I think one of the questions a lot of potential franchisees is what sort of due diligence should you do before you buy a franchise of any type of franchise, not just gyms?
There's one simple thing. There's not much I can say that's good about the franchising code. I think it's a bureaucratic idiocy. I think the disclosure document, nobody reads it. It's just garbage. It's a feeding ground for lawyers and financial advisors and bureaucrats and stuff. But there is one really good thing about it, is that you get a list of all current franchisees with their contact number. Now, if you were looking at a franchise and you didn't get that list, you do not go anywhere near them. Get that list. Go and ring as many people as possible. If possible, ring everybody in the region and ask them a simple question: what's it like? What's the support like? How much work? How do you get on with your franchisor? Is it a good income? Don't ask them how much they're making. That might be a bit personal because you don't know who's on the other end of the phone. Yeah. But but do your research.
Yeah.
And if you get a bad answer, then you don't have anything to do with it.
Would you do it again?
Yeah.
Is a question you ask the franchisee.
Would you do it again?
Yeah.
Is it a good business? And what you'll find, I'm very confident if you do that, you'll find. That's how I got going, actually. When I first started off, I was up against a much bigger company called VIP. And they had 250 franchisees before I signed my first one. And people would ask me, why would I come to you when you're just starting up, you're running your business from your basement, they've got an office, they're all over the place. And I'd say, okay, here's a list of my current franchisees. You go and ring them and ask them, and then you go and get their list and ring them, and they wouldn't give them a list. I knew that. And that's how I did it.
Yep.
And that's how we still do it. We can use, if your franchisor is any good at all, which they are, they'll say, go take this list and ring my people and ask them. Don't believe me, believe them.
Yep.
That's the one crucial lesson. And I cannot believe anybody would buy a business, would spend tens of thousands of dollars to go into business without doing a couple of hours of homework. If you do that, you make a good decision.
And one of the backbones of the Gyms Group franchises, which is the same across all the divisions, slightly different in terms of services, is the pay for work guarantee.
Yes.
And I find with new franchisees, it's actually encouraging to claim it, because pay for work guarantee isn't a failure. It's actually using the gym system and learning that we're here to get you up to speed with referral, where we pay you to market yourself.
It's actually very effective too. It's a really, really good way to build a business. When I actually, after a franchisee's been going out for 1 month, they'll actually get a personal email from me asking them how they've gone and specifically asking a pay for work guarantee. And if they have any troubles claiming it, if they're not claiming it, I really push them to do it. Most of them actually contact me, say they're doing fine, they can make plenty of money, well over the level. But those who don't, I just say, I encourage them. I say, congratulations if you did it. If you haven't done it, go out and do it. That's the best way to build your business. I have never known any franchisee to give good customer service, which most do, and to do pay for work guarantee consistently to fail for lack of work. I've never known one case.
And the advantages that we came across, we started doing free inspections for real estate agents and customers to, like, I'll talk about this in our presentation, but then we developed, agents were saying, do a free one for me, and they were on selling our reports anyway. So we were actually doing well out of the pay for work guarantee, even though we were paying them to do the inspections. But I'll talk about that
It's a great system, it really is. I, as a franchisor myself, and I have about 500 franchisees that directly support I have managers doing it and stuff, and one of the things I say to them is you encourage it, you push it. I don't want any franchisee of mine ever to make less than their pay for work guarantee.
Yep. So you're a busy man, so I think a lot of these questions are around building inspections, so I can answer those. But where do you see the Jim's group? You can't look too far ahead. We all know what the last 18 months is like. But what's some of the things?
Well, the last 18 months has been brilliant. We have grown dramatically. I think before the first lockdown, we had about 3,800. We're now up to about 4,500, or very close.
Yep.
So we've had a tremendous year and a half.
Yep.
Which is really quite extraordinary considering how difficult the environment has been. But we've got lots of work, about 1 job in 3 unserviced these days. So I don't think it's quite as bad in your division, but we've got plenty of work.
No, we haven't been short of a lead, that's for sure. But I was moving on to some of the technology. We've got Jim's Jobs coming through. We've got some real good stuff in terms of IT.
Yeah, we're spending about $6 million a year on software development these days, including Jim's Jobs, which is a really powerful system to help you to run your business effectively. It's the best anywhere in the world. There's nothing like it, and it's just part of the package for our franchisees. And it's getting better and better. We're still developing new stuff. We're going to have a system very shortly that allow, if franchisees wish to, they can actually have the job booked into their diary. You can say, I've got time, it knows where you're going to be, and it'll say, okay, we'll make an appointment for you. Which you can change if you wish to. So there'll be things like that coming on. There's all kinds of stuff going on. It's going to be fantastic.
Jim, we really appreciate it. We know you're busy.
Sam, before you go, we did have a question from David. What do you mean claim it? I think he's talking about pay for work.
So pay for work guarantee is in my presentation, so I'm going to actually talk to you and get right down to the nitty gritty of pay for work guarantee. But essentially it's your guaranteed income during those first few months when you start a franchise, and I'll show you the different ways that we help you to market in your area and the way we pay you to do it. Thanks very much, Jim. Much appreciated.
All right, no worries.
Thank you. All right, so I'm now going to do a presentation for you. But I've got a couple of questions which I can touch on there. What qualifications do you need? I'm going to talk about that in the presentation because it is slightly different between states. I'll also talk about the price of the franchise. The prices differ between states, but I'm not going to jump around the question. I'll make sure I get as accurate as I can with you. How many new JBI franchisees are hoping to sign up over the next 12 months? There are different areas where we're really trying to expand to, but you will find that we are a great division because we have low turnover. We have franchisees that stick around. So we only grow responsibly so that we can keep franchisees in the business. And as Jim said, we're one of the fastest growing divisions, over 140 franchisees. So we're 5th largest in the group. That's not because we're losing franchisees, it's because we're building our business to accommodate for more franchisees as we go along. So that looks like all the questions there.
You did have one in chat. What training is provided when joining the Jim's group, and how do I know if there's a franchise available in my area? Absolutely.
So I am going to show all the training that's involved in the building inspection franchise. So you're going to know all that. We're also going to talk about, in terms of regions, I'll talk about how leads are distributed, but Available territories is something you talk to your franchisor about. So everyone in the group here tonight has made an inquiry, so your franchisor knows who you are. It's best to talk to your franchisor about, but there will be a territory available for you in that respect. So, all right, let's get on with the presentation. So, okay, so there's Jim Penman. So I do have that slide up there because people do ask me, is he a real person? Well, there he was in the flesh, okay? So he's a very astute business person, but he's got a big heart. One of the things that you'll find when you come to Jim's training is that he actually puts his mobile number on the board, which blew me away when I sat in this lecture theatre for the training. Over 4,000 franchisees have his mobile number, and everyone else who went to this training who actually didn't come on board as a franchisee. So it was quite, that gave me a lot of confidence in the group when he did that, and he does answer the phone. Okay, so the Jim's group started off as a mowing franchise basically in 1989 was the first franchise that was sold. 55 divisions across 4,000 franchisees in Australia, New Zealand, Canada and the UK. We're based in Australia and New Zealand. So we started over 10 years ago, and now we have, as I said, 140 guys and girls across Australia. There's 55 different divisions, but they're run by professionals in their industry. So they're not a mower who's decided to start a division, okay? The division was started by Paul Comerford, who Jim brought up just before. He was a builder, and he had a Jim's pest control franchise because he got into pest control, in particular pre-construction. So he knocked on Jim's door about the concept of starting Jim's building inspections. We did some surveys around open home inspections back then, and we went and knocked on some doors, and we said, what building inspection business do you identify with? And 75% ticked Jim's building inspections, and we hadn't even started yet. So that was something where we realised maybe we're onto something. So our structure is a divisional franchisor and Jim. Then we have regional franchisors and franchisees. The national franchisor is the person who looks after the overall direction of the business, the culture and strategy moving forward, new service development, all the marketing and that sort of thing. Your franchisor is very important to you. He's your person on the ground. He looks after a particular region and looks after everything that the franchisees need in that region. So we train you in the field and in the classroom. That's a big thing. When looking at this, we want you to compare getting a building inspection business on your own or doing it with a group. The fact with us is that we can train you in the field because we want to. It's very hard as a building inspector to start a business and ask a competitor if you can go out on a few jobs with him and learn how to do it. So with us, we train you in the field and, as I said, in the classroom. We review your reports. If you could go back to that slide, Corey. We review your reports, and we're in the field with you when you start. That's a really important bit too. We're in the car with you. Once we feel that you're confident, we then draft your reporting and then make sure that you're right to go on with that particular service. And I'll show you the services in a minute. Regular franchisee meetings are really important. You'll get to know your local franchisee. That revolves around what's the marketing, what's working for us, what's not, what could we do better with the reporting system, what new services could we look at doing. Let's review our reports, let's look at particular defects. So franchisee meetings are really popular because they're run every 6 weeks, and the guys, as I said, have been working on their own mostly for that 6 weeks. It's great to get together. Your franchisor is also your business coach. So one-on-one business reviews and monthly proactives are really important. We have signed up to deal with all your issues and the wins and help you need along the way, so you can call us anytime, 7 days a week. But once a week and then effectively once a month, we will call you to do what's called a proactive call. And that's where we go over your business that's run for that month, what you've been working on, and how we can improve on that. So we're not there to police you, we're there to encourage you. So, you know, if you come across, you've done 20 inspections for the month, but you want to hit 30, we think of the best ways that we can get you up to that 30. So things like that. We also manage customer complaints. So you could be the best franchisee in the world, but occasionally you have the odd complaint, which we've got to deal with. And that's where we jump on board as well too and help you out. A lot of the time, customers choose gyms because there's a bit of a hierarchy, so that if there's any issues, they know that someone will ring them, and we jump in there and help you out. But most of the time, we allay the customer's fears or concerns. So franchisees, you're responsible for generating local business. So face-to-face contact with potential referrers, real estate agents, conveyancers, solicitors, finance providers, anyone involved in property, refer us work. Also, you know, obviously customers that we've done a job for. So doing a great job is one thing, but also networking yourself is really important too. We try to get our guys to 50% leads, 50% referral. So if you guys get to that sort of point, you're up around the 10 to 12 inspections a week, which is very achievable, but you've got to work at it. We don't expect you to start the franchise and know 20 property advocates in your area. You tend to run into these people as you become a building inspector, because you're in and around people buying houses or building or whatever the case may be. So just being a networker, being polite and sell yourself a little bit, you want to get yourself up to that point where you're turning the leads on and off. You don't need them as much as you do when you start. So you need to raise your profile by doing that. But every business is like that. So it's not rocket science, it's just doing it the gym's way that we do. Responding to leads straight away is really important. Okay, we've got a dedicated call centre. We have a high conversion rate of our leads, and the reason for that is people call the customer calls the call centre, lead goes transferred through to you, you're talking to the client straight away. Our competitor is doing an inspection under a house. So we get to the customer first. We're usually number one on Google. So when they click through, they get through to us, they get to the call centre, and away we go. You manage your own schedule, you deliver inspection services, and prepare and send your own reports. So it doesn't go through us, you're running your own business. You will not feel like a subcontractor with us. You invoice and receive payments from your own clients. So we don't take percentages of your income or anything like that. You quote the job, you win the job, you take the income. We've got a program for the app, but we also have a program for the reporting app, but we've also got an app for invoicing and receiving payments, as Jim was talking about before. So it's really a seamless transition from doing what you're doing into building inspections, where you can use an iPad and pretty much run your business through that. When you sell your business, you basically hand over your iPad. So the technology is really good. What we also want you to do is actively participate in our business, right? If you're not going to be involved in the group, maybe franchising isn't for you, and I'll be honest with you. We want you to be at all the meetings. We want you to meet new prospects. We want you to go to our conferences. We want you to answer the phone when we do a proactive call. Get the most out of the gym system. The most successful franchisees who do 15, sometimes 20 inspections a week, you'd almost forgive them for not turning up to a meeting, but they are there because they know that that's where part of their successes come from. So what we do, before you buy, before you build, you call us. That's how we market ourselves. And we pride ourselves on service that has no fine print, no jargon, and no delays. We get our reports back within 24 hours, and we also complete our reports so that actually everyone, any person, no matter what background they are, can read our reports, okay? They're not full of terms and conditions and things like that. That really changed the industry a bit when we came in with some reporting like that. So before you buy, these are the services that we can provide. Pre-purchase building inspections. So where we started, okay? We then train you in termite reporting, okay? Building inspections is what we can teach you straight away. Termite, you need to learn a little bit in the field. We also do pre-sale and vendor reporting, which I'll talk about in a minute. We get asked to do renovation reports, invasive inspections where we're cutting holes in the walls. Asbestos identification is about 10% of our work. Methamphetamine testing is a growing service. Mould reporting and sampling is another growing service, pardon the pun. Tax depreciation schedules are a service that we brought in last year. Dilapidation is probably about our third or fourth largest service. And pool fence safety inspections is a service that we're releasing this year. There are other guys in the group that do them, but we're going to build that into the app in the next couple of months. We're also involved in insurance reporting as well. So some of insurance panel builders get us to do scope of works and causation reporting. Property condition reports is another. Some people buy their home and they want a maintenance report, or commercial properties need property condition reports, and also owner-builder reports, and that depends on what state you're in terms of your qualifications. So what I want to touch on is this e-commerce vendor reporting program. So when we started, we would inspect homes and do free inspections for agents to promote ourselves with our pay-for-work guarantee, which I'll talk about in a minute. But we now provide our franchisees with an e-commerce platform where they can do an inspection for an agent or any type of report, push a button on our app, and these reports are actually put on our e-commerce platform. When it's put on our e-commerce platform, the agent, if they get asked by another person to have an inspection done, they can say, oh, we'll go through to this link. You don't need to organise anyone. You can buy a report online. So people buy our reports online and the franchisee takes the takings for it. The system then gives the franchisee a notification and he chats to the client about it. So a scenario might be an auction where an agent's got you to do an inspection. Jenny Smith is keen on the house. Her husband hasn't looked at the house and said, oh no, I'm worried about the auction tomorrow. I haven't really looked at the house. Oh, well, we could buy a report online, and they buy a report, could be 11 o'clock on a Friday night. Then the next day, the franchisee gets a notification that Jenny bought a report. He rings up Jenny, goes through the report with them. They go to the auction with a little bit more confidence. So a lot of agents are jumping on this, but we're giving you an opportunity to sell multiple reports per property, not just one, and also get a chance to get into the auction market. Before you build, now we're going to attempt to show you a video here.
Buying, renovating or building a home can be a stressful experience. Are you securing your future or investing in a money pit? Jim's Building Inspections is on hand to make sure your dream home doesn't turn into a nightmare. Imagine sinking everything you had into building your dream home, only to run into problems with your builder. We'll make sure you get what you pay for and that works are properly complete at every stage of the build. We'll check that the slab is laid level and without cracks. We'll make sure that no shortcuts have been taken during frame construction. We'll make sure that you really are at lockup and that all required fixtures are installed. We'll check your floor has been laid correctly and that all finishes are completed to the required standards before you make your final payment. All of this and more is included in a Jim's Building inspection.
Yep, right. On to the next slide. Yeah. The reason I wanted to show you that video is we do new construction stage reports, and one of the questions that I'll say without notice is that we're not surveyors or certifiers. That's 100% right. We actually do stage reports, a slab frame lockup, fix and handover for the customer, for the client. So before a progress payment's due, we jump in and check the property for the standards and tolerances that they should expect before they pay for the property and the progress payment. So we review the documentation and then we conduct construction stage reports. The beauty of this service is that it's 5 inspections for the one client. So once you get involved in this, you're going to build up and fill your diary quite quickly. So these leads are gold to us, and it's our fastest growing inspection type. by far. And that is a great little inspection service to get into. So you might be doing pre-purchase for a while, you get into the new construction where you're on building sites again and you're looking at the frame, the slab frame lock-up, fix and handover reports. The reason we brought tax depreciation schedules in is because we were doing handover reports and then they were asking us, do we do tax depreciation? So we also put that on top of it for any person who's looking at an investment or building an investment property. So commercially, we also do specific building reports for childcare, aged care, health facilities. We do preventative and maintenance plans. So people buying a commercial property can actually get a condition report done where they can ask the previous owner to fix certain things. So we do those type of reports. Again, vacancy and condition reporting is a similar thing. Strata reports is also very popular. And asbestos audits, registers and management plans. So with asbestos, we do sampling, we do registers and management plans, and we also do clearance certificates when asbestos removal guys remove some asbestos. Audits, registers and management are really high value. And the client is a commercial property manager who gets us to do them. So any building built before 2003, a commercial building, requires one of these. So there's quite a big market for that as well. So there are our services. As I said, we've got the asbestos service, which I will show you another video of just to give you a bit of an idea of what we do.
Buying, renovating or building a home can be a stressful experience. Are you securing your future or investing in a money pit? Jim's Building Inspections is on hand to make sure your dream home doesn't turn into a nightmare. Australia's love of property renovation shows no sign of slowing down. Don't play renovation roulette. If your home was built before 1990, call Jim's for an asbestos inspection before you start your reno. Here's just some of the areas we'll inspect: asbestos fencing, external roof sheeting, external wall sheets, behind bathroom tiles, under vinyl floor tiles, under the house for discarded asbestos. Don't play renovation roulette. Get an asbestos inspection completed before your renovation starts.
Okay, so just on that, I've just been asked a couple of questions which are quite relevant. Well, they're all relevant, but I need to address those. Do we also work for builders checking their subcontractors' work? Absolutely. So some of our big clients are developers and volume builders. So we've been on sites for volume builders doing inspections for clients. They've actually engaged us to do reports on their properties because a lot of the work is subcontractor work that we're looking at. And also, you've got a supervisor who might look after 12, 15 different properties. They don't mind us getting out there and getting a report done for them. So absolutely we do. And we also, in doing that, we come from a building background, okay? So we're not out there to crucify builders. A lot of the time when we do these new construction jobs, we're actually allaying the customer's fears. We can see why a builder's doing that for the next stage. So they're like saying, the builder sort of says, oh, well, no, this guy's actually my friend here. He's helping me out. We're that go-between between the two, and we get a lot of the angst out of the process, and a builder gets paid, which is what they want at the end of the day. So we're welcomed on site, and that's the way we train our guys. Is Jim's Inspections recognised by the VBA in terms of getting the building surveying licence? As I said before, we are not surveyors, and we never pretend to be. Okay, we're private consultants. And even to a point in Victoria, we call ourselves building consultants. We don't even call ourselves building inspectors. The only service that we're going for our VBA accredited licence is pool inspections, which you need to be. Yep, and that looks all right over there. So I've answered some of those questions. All right, question goes, how does it work? So I'm at Jim's group at the moment, out at Mooroolbark, and this would be after this webinar, if I've grabbed your attention, it's something you want to look a bit further into. The go is to catch up with your franchisor as best you can in our current environment. Catch up with them, let them go through the specifics of the region and the particular area and what territories are available and all that sort of stuff. Once that's done and your franchisor is confident in you and you're confident in your franchisor and the gym system to a point where you think, you know what, I'm willing to give up 3 days to look at this business. We then send you down to Mooroolbark in Melbourne. As of December 6th, it's face-to-face, as we understand it. For Western Australia and Queensland, there is hubs. So there is a hub in Perth and a hub in southeast Queensland where you go to see the trainers on the big screen, but you're also with other fellow Queensland or WA franchisees, potentials, that want to look at the business. The gym system is here to show you what being a gym's franchisee is all about. Not particularly too much about building inspections. We will get you together at some point to go through that, how we use the system. But you want to see if the gym system is for you. Business management, customer service, marketing, what support you get and all those sort of things. That's the first thing that you've got to be confident with because it is not going to change much, okay? And we don't want it to change because it works. So it's got to be something that suits you. From there, a little bit of water goes under the bridge, but we start to get you involved in the building inspection training. And the first one is the CRBI course, which is the Completed Residential Building Inspectors course. This year it's been online, but we try to do it face-to-face, and that looks like that's going to be the case into the new year, where we're going to go and show you how to do an inspection, gyms reporting, standards of legislation, the sales and marketing, the culture of the group. We do practical inspections and we prepare you for your first 6 months. The CRBI is everything on an existing dwelling that we do, okay? So that course is our main course and runs for 4 to 5 days depending on the way we structure it. The next one is the new construction course. So we do similar process, but it's on the slab frame fix lock-up handover stage. It's a 4-day course, usually face-to-face, and looks like that's going to be the case. Some guys do pre-purchase for a little while and come back to do the new course. Up to you if you want to knock over all the courses as quickly as you can. With that too, we don't just take you away for 3 months and you do all this. You plug in and do the courses as you go along. There's no rush to get you through. It's just got to work in with what your business is like at the moment or your role. Then we put you through the Asbestos Assessor course. So that's an external course. It's run for 2 days. It's now gone really well online, so that will be, there's a good chance that'll be online. That talks about sampling and auditing, commercial registers and how to do clearance certificates. So a really great course and a great service. From there, we need to put you through your termite and timber pest course. There's different laws in different states with this, but it's right around MPL and Rapid who we use. We take you through report writing, identifying termites, the species of termites, and also termite barriers and treatments and how pest controllers treat termites, because when you do termite inspections, you've actually got to see evidence of that, or if you do see evidence, see if it's done well and all those sort of things. So it's really important. And we have a practical component of that, which is on-site training for about your first 2 or 3 months. So if you do those courses, the rest of them are workshop type courses, and they are, we can then workshop you in all those services that we do. Now I've got a question from Tony. What about the training and the travel with WA? As I said, we have to move with the times. We will either have it online or face-to-face depending on your availability. So, for example, the next course in November, Sydney and Victorians are doing it face-to-face. The Sydney guys are coming down, but Queensland and WA are going to sit there and do it online. So we are absolutely available to meet your needs depending on their situation with COVID. So prerequisites. This is a question that I've been asked, and there's been a couple of questions there. I haven't answered them because I wanted to show you in these slides. So if we can move on to the next slide. Next slide. So there is, in Australia, The unlicensed states is every state apart from Queensland, okay? So Victoria, WA, SA, Tassie and New South Wales, and the Territory. We don't have any inquiries in the Territory at the moment, so I didn't have that there. For us, because it's unlicensed doesn't mean we let everyone in, okay? You need to have a minimum of 2 years relevant experience in the building industry and a certificate for or diploma of building. Now we have ACT, sorry Nav, absolutely you're the same. I didn't put that in there, that's a typo from me, so apologies to everyone in the ACT. I knew I was missing a state there. You're the same, you're fine, you are an unlicensed state. So if you've got building experience and a trade related to carpentry and supervising and building, we can work with you. What a lot of the guys that come up to us who have great experience supervising and everything like that and don't have a Cert 4, we take you through the Cert 4 through that process. So when guys make an inquiry, we do it by case basis, but we need them with that building experience, and they may have to do an extra course like a Cert 4 or something like that. If you're a licensed builder, no problems at all. No problems at all. So I think there was some question there that I can't see on the screen.
So Deepak said, I don't have any certificate in building and inspection, but built 3 homes with top builders. Can I buy this franchise?
We would you look a bit skinny on your experience, to be honest, but we would look at it case by case basis. So could talk to your franchisor, but the key here is that you will not get your license, or no, sorry, get your insurance unless insurance believe that you have enough building experience. Our training is about reporting on building, not, we expect you to know building, okay? So we need to see relevant 2 years experience as a supervisor. I've got a few questions here about themselves. It's best to ask your franchisor about that. But we have had guys with project management and supervisor experience all the way through, no building, don't have the qualification. We then put them through a certificate for a building construction as we can currently go through our training. But we would get you out on a job and just quiz you and make sure that you actually know what you're talking about, because in our division we have really low claims. We do have claims. We do 5,000 reports a month. Of course we're going to have the odd claim, but we have really low claims compared to the industry, and we want to keep it that way. I've been asked about Queensland, and Chris has asked me about Queensland. Queensland, different ballgame. You need to be licensed, okay? So I've got a little diagram there, and a lot of guys in Queensland come to me and say, oh, I haven't got 5 years experience as a builder, or I've got a low-rise licence, I can't do it, or anything like that. The fact of the matter is you need 5 years experience in construction where you have supervised or been involved in low-rise building from start to finish. Now, you have to become a licensed builder. Then you go for your inspector's licence, which is a completed residential building inspector's course of Queensland, okay? So if you've got 5 years supervision experience, you become a builder, you can automatically go for your inspector's licence straight away. One of the things that we juggle with our guys is actually the application to get an inspector's licence in Queensland. So if you believe you've got around the mark, give us a call, or give us a call anyway so we can actually confirm it for you. Then we've got a consultant at the Master Builders Queensland who takes you through your application. So we have had guys in our inquiries who haven't been builders. We've helped them become a builder and then become an inspector. All right. So if you're a builder in Queensland, no worries at all. We can just get you inspector's licence. We would still take you through the Master Builders process, because filling out an application for the QBCC can be a nightmare. We've actually got a consultant who takes you through and makes sure it's cherry ripe before you put it through. So we take a lot of that process away from you and hold your hand through that process. Now, the little bit of pain you've got to do to get your inspector's licence there, it's a good thing because you'll actually have a licence. So it's actually a licensed service in Queensland. And we try to have the same level of expertise across Australia because that's what we want to be as a division. if Chris is the same guy who's moved up to Queensland with an unlimited Victorian builder's licence, you can switch that over to Queensland. That's no worries at all. So we've had a Sydney guy who's done the same thing, so you'll be right there if that's your question. All right, so your investment. I've just got another question. Got another question there. Sorry, I'm just going to answer that. I can't see that because it's just...
So you've got a couple of questions I'm going to run out to you?
Yeah, if you could, that'd be good.
First one
a lot of questions are coming up.
MD Sean, he said, I'm from New South Wales. Do I have to go to Vic for the face-to-face courses? How often are the courses running?
The initial gyms training is once a month. So we would absolutely love you to come to Victoria because you're going to get a lot more out of meeting Jim and some of the franchisors and getting the most out of the course. The hubs in Queensland and WA have also worked really well, but we really do prefer you to come to Melbourne. And the courses for building inspections and new construction are held in Victoria. The rest are held in your state. Yep.
Yeah, and I've just I've got one here. What if you have a trade certain shipbuilding, fabrication, and boiler making? Have experience in building and renovation? Can this be accepted? Shipbuilding, fabrication, boiler making aren't going to help you, but if you've got experience in building and renovations, we have to see how much experience. So again, all these, if you feel like you're on the fence with your experience, have a chat to your franchisor because they can work out the best way to do it. Everyone can become a building inspector, but we need to tell you what path you've got to go to, you know. So we've had guys that have had 2, 3 years, 4 years in building, but then we've told him he's got a supervisor job. We go, have your supervisor job for another year, get some experience up, do a Cert 4 at the time, and then come back to us, you know. So that's what we want our guys to do so they understand it. But again, it's a case-by-case basis by your state. So go talk to your franchisor. Just make, you know, if you're not sure, talk to your franchisor and make sure that that's, you know what you have to do. And sorry, Nav has also asked, sorry, I missed it. Do we need a builder's licence in ACT to become an inspector? You
don't need a builder's licence in the ACT, but you have to come with building experience. There is some licence requirements with asbestos and pest inspections in the ACT. Because in the ACT, lucky you, it's compulsory to get a building inspection, so they do quite well in the ACT. Vanessa and Slade are your franchisors there. Give them a call. I'm sure you got their details.
And how long does it take to complete first training?
Oh, sorry, the gyms group training is 3 days. So you fly in Sunday night. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we chuck you back on the plane on Wednesday night. So it's a really good 3 days. They look after you, they feed you well, and there's a bar here, there's great accommodation. You really enjoy it. Okay, right, okay. So we'll get through those questions. So pay for work guarantee, let's talk about the investment. So the investment, okay, so there's 2 parts to the investment. There's the franchise and there's the startup kit. Now, every franchisor across Australia has a different startup kit depending on their region, right? So their franchises are around 49K. Now, don't hold me to that because I want you guys to have a chat to your franchisor because they vary, not by much, but vary a little bit. And the startups can vary from 20K to 30K depending on what the franchisor provides you. So that's about as far as I want to go with the pricing because really it is based on your region and talking to your franchisor. But I wanted to give you a ballpark. Now, pay for work guarantee is $1,500 a week. That lasts for 150 leads, which is over 6 months, which is more than enough time. And most of guys ever claim pay for work guarantee would have been 1 or 2 months at best. So the way that's calculated, it's calculated over a month. So 1,500 times 4 is 6,000. If you earn $5,000 for the month in any order, we will top up your earnings with $1,000. Now that comes out of your franchisor's pocket. That's a great thing because one, you know your franchisor is going to work like hell to make sure that you get busy, because if he doesn't, he's going to be paying out the $1,000 to or whatever he owes you every time during the month. So you've got that guarantee. You also know that a franchisor isn't just going to sign 10 franchisees if he can't support them. So to earn that $1,000, we get you doing local area marketing activities in your area. So we have a number of local area marketing activities, doing free inspections for agents for the e-commerce, visiting potential referrers, a lot of other different things, attending networking meetings, stuff like that for marketing. So what we do, we want to build habits for you in that first 1, 2, 3 months. So when you're doing this pay for work guarantee work, we'll pay you to do it and it'll solidify your business in terms of your network in your local area. So it's been a very powerful thing that the Jim's group have done. Historically, Jim, when he started, he didn't get a lot of work at the start and he started offering everyone in the street a free mow. He mowed their lawns for free. That is seriously how the pay for work guarantee thing started. So then when new divisions came on, they had to work on a free service or a complimentary service to promote themselves, because every lawn that Jim mowed, he mowed it perfectly. They got him back to mow their lawns, and then he got too busy, sold another round, then realised he could franchise it. But that's a little bit of a story. I'm going off track there. But that's how pay for work guarantee works. Absolutely claim it when you start because you're entitled to it, and it will help you through those first month or so when you're trying to build up your franchise. How long Jim will continue to pay for work guarantee? Yeah, so it's 150 leads, which is about 6 months, which is more than enough time. So it's 150 leads that you receive. Once it ticks over that, the pay for work guarantee ceases. But for 6 months, honestly, it's a hell of a lot of time to get you up, because $1,500 is about 3 inspections. So we want to get you up to about that 8, 9, 10, 11 inspections in your first 12 months. So, and that, when you're hitting that, you're about 50% referral, 50% leads. So that's a really important target to hit. And your franchisor wants you to hit that, because then you're not relying on leads as much anymore. You've got more referral and you're a happy franchisee. All right, work back to the slides, but then you're going to go straight back to me. Keep going. So that startup, which is around this figure, involves your vehicle signage, your stationery, your uniforms, all the training, accessories, your iPad, and everything to get you on the road. The accessories part of it is different with some franchisors and travel and that sort of stuff. So I can't go into too much detail there. I'd love you to catch up with your franchisor to talk more shop about it. But this franchise you own. So I had an inquiry today. He said, oh, is it $49,000 a year? No, it's a franchise that you own. So we want you to have in your business plan an exit plan. So if I'm going to buy this franchise for 49 grand today, when I exit in 7 years' time and 10 years' time, when I tell Sam I want to retire to the Bahamas, what am I going to sell it for? Am I going to sell it with, 100 bona fide clients who refer me work? Well, it's going to be worth more than what it's worth more than what I paid for it in the beginning. So we want you to sell it for more than you paid for it. Okay, next slide. Okay, so the big question I get is territories. How does this work? So, can you see me there? So what happens is we get you a territory close to home or an area you relate to. So I live in Moorabbin in Victoria. So I would grab the Moorabbin territory. And that territory would be made up of 2 or 3 suburbs and about 15,000 households. Which is quite a big area, but you're not just going to work in that area. The difference between us and some other divisions is that they go back to the same house and mow it again or clean it again. We work wherever. We've got referral happening everywhere. We work through agents and conveyancers and mortgage brokers. We do inspections all over the place. So you will actually draw a map around your area, be it regionally or, let's give Melbourne an example. So I would do this around Greater Melbourne. And this map will be where I say to my franchisor, I want a lead. So we tell the system where we want a job, for what service, and what particular time we're willing to answer the phone. So when you start, you're going to ask for leads everywhere. You just want to get going. You want heaps of work. So we will provide you with leads all over this area. Now, a franchisee might have a territory right next door to you, okay? That's fine. He would have a similar looking map, or she, and leads would be evenly distributed over a 10-day period for these franchisees. So the system is basically next in line gets a lead. The only thing you can't do is knock on doors in this guy's territory. You can't cold call. Okay, you can't walk down these streets and cold call. But if you did a job for Jenny Smith, and the real estate agent's Mike from Ray White, and Mike goes, gee, well done, Sam, I really appreciate your promptness. You got the report out, nice presentation. I want you to go talk to us at our head office over here. Smack bang in someone else's territory. Because you've been referred to that person, you're welcome to go in there. So we can work wherever we like. You can do jobs in another guy's territory. You just can't cold call inside that territory. Also, the system gives you a preference in your area. So we did a job here. Then she thought we were amazing and started telling all her friends and family about us. Suddenly your mobile number is starting to ring in that area. Just 1 second. Can you hear me? There you go, ran out of batteries, good work. All right, so we're getting referral over here, we're getting referral over here, we're doing jobs for people and getting referral. We're also talking to customers in our territory, and we're networking with other people outside our territory, because you can work wherever you like and you can be referred wherever you like. What happens is, over time, you decide that I don't need as many leads from the system anymore because I'm getting referral. So what I'm going to do is reduce my map, because I don't want to travel 2 hours for a job. Well, it wouldn't be 2 hours, an hour for a job. What that does is that makes you more efficient, because you're getting leads closer to home and you're building your referral network. Because with the franchise sale, these are your fees. You pay a management fee and a lead fee. The management lead fee varies from state to state, so you've got to talk to your franchisor about that. The management fee is for the call centre, your franchisor, and your contribution to the marketing fund. So your franchisor gathers the money from the marketing fund and generates leads in his region or her region. And the lead fee you pay when you want a lead. So you ask for leads in this area at this particular time for this particular service. These are questions you've got to talk to your franchisor about, but I'm trying to show you how it's done. So when you get to that point where you're 50% leads, 50% referral, there comes a time where you don't feel like travelling that far and paying for a lead out here. So over time, you reduce your map, you reduce the times you're willing to answer the phone, you'll take less leads, but guess what? Your fees are decreased. So that is where you want to be. So when I looked at this system, and believe me, I was in your shoes 9 years ago, I like that idea that if I get more referral, I can reduce my fees. If you look at other franchise models, and please do, so you can compare, you will go into a system where, okay, the more money you earn, the more fees you pay because they take a percentage of your income. With us, it's different. You control the lead fee. So over time, I'm working away, I'm doing a great job getting referral, my phone number's starting to ring more than the leads. Now's the time to reduce my MAP and I can reduce my fees. So the idea that the busier you get in our business, the less fees you pay, which is a great system. Take as many leads off as you want. When you're getting more referral, turn them down. I hope that you understand where I'm coming from there. Again, if you need to learn a bit more how that works, talk to your franchisor. Okay, there is no annual fee to the franchisor. There's a monthly management fee and lead fee. That's what I've been asked. So there's no annual fee. You just pay a management fee to run the call centre, your franchisor and the leads. Talk to your franchisor about it. Okay, so I'll give you an example. I look after about 40 franchisees up the East Coast. I now would have 10 franchisees that are completely turned off for leads. So they use the system, they use the reporting app, they use the call centre still, but they turn their leads off. Someone asked if I pay for unserviced leads. No, you don't pay for unserviced leads. You tell us when you want a lead, okay? And the management and lead fees don't increase every year. They go up with CPI like everything else, but they don't increase. There's no increases. It's the fee that you get that you sign on the contract. And in answer to your contracts, they're over 10 years, the contracts, so we don't have annual increases or anything like that. Good question, do we do Facebook advertising? We have Facebook shops for all our franchisees. We get leads through the 131 number, so you don't use your mobile number on the internet, but we promote our franchisees on the internet. So there's definite ways for people to find you.
I might just rattle off a few more for you.
Yep.
Phil has asked, what about the marketing fee?
Yep, so it's a chat with your franchisor. I can tell you the marketing fee is included in the management fee, and it's about $500 a month. What I can tell you is that a very simple way to look at it, and usually the simple way is the best way, is that the franchisee can cover their fees with their first inspection for the week comfortably, plus a few more expenses like fuel and bits and pieces. The rest is for them. So I was doing a proactive with a franchisee the other day. He goes, yep, done my 10 this week. It's Thursday. First was for the Jim's group and marketing and all my leads taken care of. And the 9 inspections are for me. How good's that? Not a bad profit margin. So the beauty of our business is that you do an inspection, you get paid straight away, the money goes into your account, and you control how many lead fees you pay. So that's where I saw an advantage to being part of the Jim's group, because I know from my previous business how much marketing costs, how much running a website costs, building a brand for yourself, right? When you compare, what we want you to do in this early stages of what you're looking at, compare doing it on your own or doing it with a group. And some guys don't see the value in it, and that's fine, but other guys do. And they come on the journey with us, and you can tell that they're going to be a good franchisee because they can see the value in it and they do their best with the brand to make sure that they get to those numbers where the fees are justified.
Mohammed has asked, I have a builders and supervisors license, but don't have the savings to buy the franchise. Can we do work on percentage like 30 to 70%? No,
what we'll do, we'll get you finance. So like most people, including me, I don't have 60 or 70K in my bank account. So I get finance. So we've got brokers who help you with finance. We have vendor payment systems. If you're a good prospect who we believe we can make you a success and you come along the journeys, we will help you along that journey, and we'll make sure you get the finance. You know, in some scenarios you can't for whatever reason, but there isn't many good prospects that don't get through with finance with us, and we can help you along the way with that. We've got cash flows and business plans. We help you through the process. I've got another question there from a Phil in the western suburbs of Victoria. He's asked me, are you looking for franchisors? There are franchisor opportunities throughout Australia. Going through the process of a franchise as a franchisee, you may want to ask that question about becoming a franchisor. Absolutely.
Last one before you run. Jeremy, do you have? Jeremy has asked, do you pay for unserviced leads?
No, you don't, because you choose when you get leads. Okay, leads are a lead, not a job. You have to win the job. But we convert around 75 to 85% of our leads comfortably. And also the way Jim's Group worked that out is that they give you a 15% discount on your lead fees at the end of every month to buffer that. So if you get your conversion up around 80, 85%, you're not losing out on leads. And that's not a difficult task, but it's a task you've got to work at. You at the start, you're sort of stumbling along with your leads, but over time, you win them. And the reason you pay lead fees in our business is because you're going to ring them back straight away. And that's why we have great responses and good customer service. The call centre here is awesome. It's here. So when you come to the Jim's Group training, we actually get you in the call centre and put the earphones on and you can listen.
Ben has asked, what determines the area that is purchased?
The area purchased is the territory. So we have our Australia and New Zealand mapped out. We had a mapping company do that 10 years ago and then redo it after every census. And it's based on number of dwellings. So it's not necessarily number of people in a suburb or suburbs. It's more about, you know, potential businesses that you can talk to. But you can work wherever you like. When we have Christmas parties and catch-ups, the guys actually joke about how many jobs they actually did in their territory. It's word of mouth, this business. And a lot of the guys that are on tonight are builders or carpenters or people in that game. There's no different to what you have done all your life to be a successful builder or carpenter. I missed a question there.
Yes, we've had, can you buy into different divisions you want to expand, i.e. pest control? Or is this merged with JBI?
No, you can absolutely do that. I did it. So I had another franchise in Jim's Hazmat, which was asbestos removal and mould remediation. So yes, that's correct. You can do that. All right, we better keep going. All right, so that management fee goes to regional advertising, franchisor support, resources and software, call centre fees, and that data backup, which is really important. Next one. So you need an approved SUV or dual cab ute. Ladder and torch is important. Moisture meters, very small, small costs on equipment. Insurance, we have our own insurance through public liability and professional indemnity. And additional inspection equipment, for example, thermal imaging is something that some of the building inspectors get once they get their pest licence. So comparing with us and comparing doing it on your own is a really good process to go through. And I just want you to think about what it would be to start it on your own. You'd have to create a web page with e-commerce. Probably cost you about 25K in monthly upkeep if you wanted to compete with some of the companies that like us. Monthly SEO to rank and Google AdWords, not getting any change out of $2,000 a month. Our insurance is cheaper than our single operators. To have a call centre taking calls for you, you'd be looking at $300 a month. And a generic reporting app at $100 a month. We have our own reporting app that we built and we surround our business and it's a centre of our business. And we have that at about $50 a month for our franchisees, so it's obviously a lot cheaper.
So before you go, Stephen has asked a question. Will someone be following us up?
We'd like you to follow your franchisor up. If you do, you can chuck my email on there actually if you like. My email is sam@jimsbuildinginspections.com.au. Absolutely, if you'd like me to follow you up or one of our franchisors, you should have received some information, and those emails are from your franchisor. So if you want to touch base with them directly, go for it. But if you can't find them, give me a call or call 131 546. So lead fees are the only variable, okay? Any work fee you get yourself is for you. It doesn't attract a charge. Also, clients that have lost your phone number and they call back the call centre. If they call back that call centre, your name comes up on the lead. So the call centre girl realises that that's your previous client, and that goes through to you at no charge. So we never charge you for referral, and the call centre is used in that way as well. You need to reduce your monthly fees over time by getting more referral, and that's what our job is. So the advantage to being a Jim's franchisee, we have an expert marketing team in our group working full-time to generate leads for us. We have that instant brand recognition. We get that first foot in the door for you, okay? The second foot is up to you, but you're on your way. We have high conversion rates from call to job. 85% is our conversion rate. We surveyed our clients, not last year, the year before, and 85% of our clients did not call anyone else for a competing quote because we got to them first. You've got a call centre taking calls for you. We do charge between 10 and 15% more than independent businesses and still get the work because they like the Jim's brand. We have technical support for you 7 days a week, business mentoring, sales support, and also one thing to remember is that your franchise is a resellable asset. If you treat it like an asset, it will be an asset for you. Your work is also covered when you're ill or taking holiday. So if you're sitting there and touch wood, something happens and you're incapacitated, your work is covered and your franchise is paused if you're incapacitated. But also, if you go on a holiday, you can turn your leads off as well. Okay, so if you're on a holiday and you want to turn your leads off, that'll be evenly distributed amongst the guys. But also, if you've got a potential referrer, you can actually give that to one of your franchisees, fellow franchisees, and you don't let your referrers down. So you say, hey, Billy, just look after Mike from Ray White for a week. I'm off to Bali for the week. Now, I know you're not thinking about that now, but if a lot of people in the group, I'm sure, have run a business before, that's a time that, you know, your phone is always on when you're out. So to finish off, we don't take percentages of your profits. Whatever you put in your business is yours to keep. We don't charge you for repeat work or clients we send your way. We don't charge you for clients who are referred by others or directly approach you. We don't restrict the area you work in. As long as you don't advertise in another guy's area, you can work wherever you like. And we don't treat you like a subby or an employee. You're a small business owner, free to grow your own business and take on employees and vehicles at any cost. So where to from here? We are looking for highly motivated people. There's no question about that. When you start this, you're starting a business from scratch, but it's a hell of a start with us. Turn the key and it goes. It's up to you how fast it goes. We need you to learn new skills, committed to great responsive customer service, willing to participate in a supportive, fun, peer environment. You're going to get that feeling early when you go out and talk to franchisees. And of course, an ethical person is who we're after too. So we've got 3 workshops that we do with franchisees when they're thinking about starting. 1, Jim's Group orientation. No skin off your nose to come and have a look at the Jim's Group to see what you think for yourself. It's obligation free. You get a thorough understanding of the Jim's Group and what it's all about and if it's for you. Second up, we do a pre-planning workshop. We do that with you in person when we do a business plan and a cash flow. We talk about your expectations and if they're realistic, and also we talk about a path to you becoming a franchisee from where you've come from. And in no particular order, a tryout day. Go and talk to the franchisees. Go out with a franchisee, have a coffee with him, go on a job. We wouldn't let you even get to a point of signing contracts unless you have been out with enough franchisees where you can see the value in it and you can see the feedback from them. So Jim's group, does it suit me? Pre-planning workshop, will it meet my expectations? Tryout day, is everything Sam and the franchisors and the Jim's group saying consistent with what the franchisees are experiencing and what they say? If you go through those 3 workshops, there is a fair indication that we think this could be for you. So that is done over a process as far and as long as it takes for you. The best thing that we can do in the early days is make sure you understand everything about this franchise. The worst thing that can happen to a franchisor is 6 months down the track, you say, you never told me this. This is not what we want. We want to make sure that you've ironed out everything and you understand everything about the franchise to ensure that you've got the best chance of being successful. All right, so I might answer some questions quickly. I know I've tried to make this an hour. It's gone a little bit over, so I apologise for that. If you could quickly, yep.
Yeah, so what is the usual level of PI cover that you need to be maintained?
1 million, 10 million. So professional indemnity is 1 million.
And then is the price of the same type of inspection, can that be beaten by another Jim's building inspection?
We never compete against each other. It's one lead, one franchisee. That has never happened. Referral is referral. Leads are leads. We never compete with another franchisee.
Do you have report writing templates part of the system and maintenance plans?
Yes, all of our reports are on a system. So it's a very easy to use system. I'll get through the questions and we might show people the reporting system if they've got time. If you don't have time, it's fine. I can completely understand.
And do we have to pay for management fees during holidays?
Yeah, if you're going on holidays, you still pay the management fee because the business is still alive. But we have a system in there, like if you're incapacitated, we can pause your training. When is the next orientation training in Melbourne? I believe it's December 5th, somewhere around there, 5th, 6th. How many?
There might be one in November.
Might be 6th. Yeah, but the next one is... oh, yes, there is one in November.
Might be. We don't know yet.
I should have had that before. But look, talk to your franchisor again. You really need to catch up to your franchisor before you come to Jim's training. So there is one on the 15th of November, actually. But it's... the November training might be Melbourne people only, and then online for all the other states in December, where we see that that's going to be everyone, apart from WA and Queensland. But we're working through it. Any other questions there?
Ben has asked, how has COVID affected the Melbourne orientations for those of us not in Melbourne?
So they've been pretty good. We've done online training. They've worked. I'm a bit of a face-to-face person. I like to sit down, have lunch with you and talk shop with you. And I don't mind a beer as well. Doesn't matter if you don't like beer, you can have a cup of tea up there. But we get together and we learn about each other and get a real feeling for the Jim's group. You have dinner with Jim and all those sort of things. So the face-to-face is good. The hubs in Queensland and WA are great. For anyone in Sydney, I'd encourage you to come down to Melbourne because you can do that. So that will look a lot better over the next couple of months, which is great for everyone across Australia. Okay.
The only other thing... as a franchisor, do you need similar prerequisites? Technically
you don't, but you wouldn't be able to run a franchise. So that's a... Look, if you've got that question and if you're thinking about becoming a franchisor, give me a call or email me at sam@jimsbuildinginspections and I can talk to you about that. 5th of December, I reckon you guys are coming in. The New South Wales guys are flying to Melbourne. I'd suggest, but we're not sure of it yet. So plenty of water to go down the bridge. You've got to catch up with your franchisor first. Okay, so we're going to attempt to show you the reporting system now. I know it's night time and you've probably got kids that are asking for dinner and all those sort of things. So if you do have to go now, I just want to say thank you very much for coming. I really appreciate the effort to listen to me tonight. And my only suggestion is go and have a chat to your franchisor about what are the next steps and catch up with them for an hour of coffee just to go through what are the next steps as a franchisee and what's it all about in your particular region, and nail down those figures so you know exactly what the franchise is worth. But I want to show everyone the building inspection system now. So we're going to get the technical guys to work that out. It's up there? Beautiful. Okay. So this is the building inspection reporting app that we've developed and exclusively for us. So I've got a couple of reports here that are dummy reports. But all your reports on the left-hand side. Over here you choose the type of report that you want to do. And as you get trained up over time, you choose what these reports are put into your app. So here at property, we choose the type of building type, company or strata tile, number of bedrooms, the orientation, it might be a south-facing property, number of stories, single story, furnished or occupied, and then we put in construction method, building elements, timber building elements, and roof type and wall type. So it's basically a tick box at the start, and this, if you're really organised, you can actually get all this done while you're waiting for the agent. So the franchisees that really know what they're doing are doing that. All right, so then we're into the defects. So we add a defect. We press building. Might be exterior. It might be the balcony. Then from there, this filters down all the defects that could particularly be on a balcony. So crack in a concrete slab is quite common. And if I push on that the editing table there, we can write in what we want to talk about this particular balcony. Once we're happy with that, we click save and the defect is done. Then we choose safety major or minor. So these are the defect descriptions that we do that's part of the standard. So it might be a major defect. The severity rating was what I was trying to say. Then we choose a photo. So with this, we can actually choose a photo from our library, or we can also take a photo if we want. So if I'm here at the moment, I can take a photo like that. And then I can put in arrows to describe the crack in the balcony, which we all know that's not a balcony, but I'm trying to show you an example. So once we've done that, we then do a report summary. We then do a main image of the property. Sorry, this is clever. This is my kids at my iPad, but we might just choose the front of the property there. We'll put in a summary. House in good condition. Special conditions. Special conditions can be if they want to know what the kitchen looks like, if they want to rip it out, what's it look like in the roof space, things like that. Overall condition, good condition. Further inspections. Might be pest control because there was a termite problem. Structural engineer, the balcony may be really bad and it needs a structural engineering report. And then we give further inspections. Obstructions, inaccessible areas, and the risk of undetected defects. This is all about what was our limitations. So there might be fixed furniture, floor coverings, lack of clearance in the subfloor. There might be mould in the subfloor, so we're not going to go in there. So don't think you have to go into dangerous positions when you're in the house. You just If you can't get there, you put it in this area to say you couldn't get there. So the standard has a certain height and width of the entry of a subfloor, and that's where you can tell whether you're allowed to go in there or not, right? So that's why we have obstructions. And then we generate the report. So it's pretty straightforward. You don't have to be a IT guru to work this out. I'm certainly not, and I picked it up fairly quickly. But here we go. There's my photo of the front of the place. Here's all my details. Safety, major or minor. What was involved in the property. And there's the balcony with the crack in the photo. I'm happy with that, so I mail it off. And away it goes to the client. I won't send that because it's definitely not where we want to be. So that's the reporting system. So if you guys, can you go back and make... See, technology. You can still hear me on the mic anyway. So yeah, so that's just a quick snapshot of the report. But you go out with customers all the time and your franchisor, and you learn supervised inspections for every type of inspection we do. So you'll become quite quick at it, and you can build your library over time that you become, quite quick at the inspections. All right. Do we have any more questions there, or happy to? No, we're all good? All right. Really wrapped that everyone can make it tonight. We are coming out of a COVID lockdown across a number of states, so there's going to be plenty of opportunity for you to catch up for a coffee with your franchisor. I just wanted to give you an overall look at what the business is all about, and us as a head at division, what we do for you. The next step is to catch up with your franchisor, because they're going to be your go-to person. All right, so we have a really great team of franchisors in the group, and we would like you to have a look at this. The 3 workshops we do don't cost you any money. So why not have a look at it? If you got to a point where you're listening to us tonight, I've got a feeling that there's something in there where you guys are going to sit back and go, you know what, there's a chance for me not to procrastinate about this. Let's go and have a chat with the franchisor. And at the end of the day, once you've been to Jim's training and seen franchisees, you pick yourself. We're not, us as franchisors, we're not salespeople. We're here to find the right franchisees who are going to wear our brand with a bit of pride and have great customer service. So I really appreciate your time. One more question.
One more question from Joey, sorry. Do you get to choose how many leads you have in a week?
100%, yep. We get a high amount of leads. We do really well with our marketing. I don't want to overcook that, but we certainly do. One of the things I have to teach franchisors is to learn how to turn them off. We don't want you taking hundreds of leads. We want you using the leads to build your own business and your own referral network. And that's the key to it. All right, thanks very much. Thanks everyone here tonight for running this show. I'm really hoping you catch up with your franchisors, but more importantly, I'm hoping you get across to Jim's orientation so we can actually shake hands and share a bite to eat or a drink together, so I can talk more to you about this business and you get to know us a bit more, because it's a relationship of not just you, it's us, it's the whole division all the way through. And get to meet Jim as well. Thanks very much. We appreciate your time, and we'll speak to you soon.